Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dork Side. It is I, your friendly neighborhood dork in the road, and I am living that gaming life after level 40. That's right, I am turning 40 this year, and I'm gaming as strong as ever. Been a gamer my whole life. Did you know the average age for gamers in America is 35 years old? That's right, this whole idea that games are just for kids is ridiculous to a generation of us who grew up playing them and continue to play them into our adulthood. And so today I want to talk a little bit about 5 ways that gaming changes or being a gamer changes as you get older, as you get into your 30s and 40s. So not only do I have a family, a wife and a kid, but also a job where I have to work often up to 50 hours a week, and I still find time to play games. Now that's a little different than the way it was when I was a much younger man, and so I have to approach gaming in a different way. So here's 5 ways that gaming changes as you get older that I've discovered. Number one, and this is probably stupid obvious, but I have less time. Not only because I'm working so much, but because I have less long uninterrupted stretches when I'm at home. I'm not alone. I have, my family that I want to spend time with. I got to take my kid to school and to practice and things like that. I occasionally hang out with my wife. Whereas back in the day, I could count on getting a new game and sitting and playing it for 4, 6, 8 hours. That's a lot less possible these days with all of my other obligations. Now, that's not to say that I don't game and I don't game for long sessions, but those are things that I plan ahead of time. Whereas it used to be kind of impromptu back in the day. There's definitely less total time that I can spend gaming, and then as a result of that, I have to be a little bit more strategic about how I approach it. One thing that I do is to think about games in terms of whether or not they're family friendly. That's not to say that I only play family friendly games, but for instance, this holiday season, you may have noticed that there were 2 pretty major releases, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game that I'm dying to play forever. It's fantastic, but it's also rated M for mature, and my 11-year-old is pretty smart and mature, but I'm not going to play that game in front of her, versus Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I can play with my wife and my kid. Not just with them, but also around them. Smash Bros. Is a game I can play anytime. I can grab my Switch, take it, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, if I can catch 10 or 15 minutes here or there. But Red Dead Redemption is more of a behind closed doors after the kid's gone to bed, or when she's not here type scenario. So you got to think about your gaming time. There's different types. So I have my own gaming time, and I have my family's either present or taking part in the gaming time. And you got to think about different games that you're going to play. So game selection becomes a little bit more interesting. I really have 2 categories in my head. So I have Starlink. That's a game that I would happily play with my family in the room or with my daughter around. And then I have games like Fallout 76 that I probably wouldn't play with her around. Spider-Man, yes, family friendly. That Red Dead Redemption is something that I have to find special time to play when I'm not likely to have my kid walk in at an inopportune moment. Number 3 way, the third way that gaming changes as you become older and start to have more responsibilities is I no longer have time to hunt down every single collectible in games. I approach games a lot differently than I used to. I used to be very into finding all the secrets and getting all the power-ups, and I still catch myself doing that, but sometimes it's like I realize I don't have the time to do that, and so I have to force myself to just do the story missions and get through the game, because if I don't, I know that I'll never finish it. I'll move on to something else, or I'll get distracted by something else. And a perfect example is the Assassin's Creed games. I haven't beaten an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 2. I've played almost all of them. I didn't play Unity, but I keep falling back into my old ways, and I want to find all the collectibles and power up all my abilities and everything. And it turns out I just never actually end up finishing the game. So you have to be strategic in how you approach games. There's more than one approach to doing this. So that's one way. I like to try to just get through a lot of games quickly if I can. It sucks to miss out on things, but it's better to at least have experienced the game and played all the way through it, even though I didn't see every single cool secret and nook and cranny. Another way to do it is a way that one of my buddies does it, and he tends to just buy one game and then just focus on it, like hardcore, like laser focus. So that's another example of what you can approach games when your time becomes more limited, is instead of buying multiple games and trying to play through all of them, just get one, just play, beat it thoroughly, find everything there is to find, then move on to another game. I don't think I could do that because I have to touch all the major releases if I can. And so for me, I have to find a way to just play through them as quickly as possible. Number 4, and this kind of ties into the thing I just said, but with less time comes less time, right? Less time equals less time. It's not super profound. Yeah, this is not a highly philosophical channel, you'll find that. But shorter games become more desirable. So games that I know are a fairly self-contained 10 to 20 hour experience, I get much more excited about than I used to. A game like Shadow of the Tomb Raider or Rise of the Tomb Raider, those games, I know that I can play through them and beat them. I was actually disappointed when there was no story mode in the new Call of Duty, because that's usually a single player mode that I can get all the way through. Unfortunately, it leaves out some types of games that I used to really enjoy. For instance, I grew up playing JRPGs and Super Nintendo RPGs, and I used to love like a 60 to 80 hour experience if I could find one. And now it's like 60 to 80 hours, I will never get through that. So as much as I want to play Octopath Traveler, and I really, really want to play it because it seems like just loaded with all the things I used to love as a kid, I know I'll never get through it. So I don't have Octopath Traveler, and unfortunately, unless I find myself with an overabundance of free time, probably not the type of game I'm going to be able to play anymore. So it's disappointing, but it's the nature of the beast when you have less time. But there's lots of great, very focused, fun, shorter experiences out there, and those are the types of games I tend to seek out these days. Red Dead Redemption 2 was an exception to that, but I made it a priority and was playing when I should have been sleeping and stuff like that. Just when I wanted to get through it, I forced myself to sit down and get it done because I wanted to see the whole story. And that is a heck of a game if you have. All right, and the fifth way that gaming changes, and this one is like a double-edged sword, because it's a really awesome thing, but it's also kind of ironic. So the older I've gotten, the more steady, reliable income that I've made. So I used to work retail or have part-time jobs as a very young man, and now I have a decent career and I make okay money. I'm not rich, but it's pretty much to the point where if there's a game that I want, I'm pretty sure that I can get it. Whereas it used to be, I had to save up, trade everything in, make sure that I had that constant cycle of trade-ins going in order to get the latest releases. And some games I just couldn't get at all. But nowadays, it's a little bit more secure the more financially stable that you get as you get older. So I don't worry as much about not being able to get the games. The irony being, I don't have time to play them. So I can finally afford the games that I've always wanted and the consoles and everything else, but I don't have time to play through them. So you still have to do all the things I talked about before. While it's great that I can get these games, I always end up at Christmas time or after Christmas time with a backlog of games that I haven't gotten to yet. Like, for instance, right now, I purchased a few games over the holiday season as all the sales were coming on, and I have an unopened copy of Spider-Man that I haven't gotten to play yet. I've put, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours into Starlink, which is a game I was really excited about, and I didn't even bother to get Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I know I won't have time to play it. The sad irony of the situation is that as awesome as it is to know that if I want a game, I can get it, the sad fact is I just don't have time to play it. So it's less exciting than you would think. So that's just a quick rundown of 5 ways that being a gamer changes as you get a little bit older. That's kind of going to be my shtick here on this channel, is I want to talk about what it's like to try to balance the responsibilities of having a family and a job with this really fun hobby that we all enjoy of gaming. So I hope that you'll think about coming back and check out future videos. If you like this one, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button down in the corner. Do all those things that all the YouTubers say. Hit the bell icon. That's pretty exciting, right? So you can get your updates. Thank you for watching. And as always, please do not forget to be excellent to each other. A thank you.